Sleepy town settled for the night, where every lawn is tailored just right. And it's about time that the back porch light comes on. At that house down the street, at that house on Magnolia Street.
Hey witch hey!
Hey witch hey!
Welcome all to our special patron-centered episode. So during our brief hiatus, we've been reflecting on what makes Magnolia Street so unique and so magical. And that, my friends, would be the neighbors that have helped support our podcast through our Patreon.
Yeah, we wanted to host some intimate one-on-one conversations with them to bring you closer to the heart of our neighborhood by hearing just how special practical magic is and how it came into their lives. So thank you guys for being members of our Patreon family. Your support means the world to us, and we really hope that this special episode brings a touch of Magnolia Street magic to your day.
This episode is a tribute to the magic that binds us all and the special connections we've formed along the way.
In this episode, we got to sit down with Mallory Trunnell of Crimson Calamity, an RCA recording artist, as well as, you know him, you love him, Joseph of Grounded by the Moon.
That's right. Without further ado, ladies and gents, welcome to the July Patron Special.
Hey witch hey, first of all.
Hey witch hey, hey witches hey.
Hey witch hey.
We're so excited. We have our very, very first Patreon special episode, which we're doing for the next couple months, like this month and next month, right? July and August, to kind of, I guess, fill in the blanks. So it's not like we're away for our break for too long for you guys. And we wanted to do something special for the patrons, just because we really appreciate you guys and your support for the podcast and our mutual love for the best movie ever.
Yeah.
So we're gonna, without further ado, we're gonna introduce our very first patron, Mallory Trunnell. Is that how you say your last name?
It's Trunnell, but you are so close. It looks like Trunnell.
Okay,
It looks like Trunnell. You're good. You're good.
Mallory Trunnell is here on Magnolia Street. And y'all have heard our origin stories with practical magic, but we wanted to ask everybody else because some people have come to this story in different moments in their lives, and we want to know all about those stories. So that's why we wanted to do these little patron specials for you.
Mallory, first start off, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you do, because you have the coolest freaking job ever.
Aw, thank you.
Person. Tell our listeners all about yourself first.
Well, my name is Mallory. I am originally from the Salt Lake City, Utah area. I moved to California when I was 18, and I lived out in Los Angeles for a very long time. I am a recovering theater kid and a musician and a songwriter and a producer and a few other. I wear many hats, but I mostly am obsessed with three things: music, practical magic, and Shakespeare. So that's why I'm here, and I'm just really lucky that you guys play into my nerdery. So. I now live in Nashville, Tennessee also, and I'm talking to you guys in my studio. I do a podcast with my bandmate Lauren, and we do music stuff on the podcast. So, but I love your podcast so much, girls. It's so nice to find soulmate online friends that you've never met before till now. And I just really appreciate everything that you guys are doing, and you give us so much content. It's not just a meal; it's like a buffet every week. So
keep coming back for seconds, but you are 50% of Crimson Calamity.
Yes, my band, I probably should have said the name of the band. Yes, the band is called Crimson Calamity. The name is inspired by Calamity Jane. My bestie, my bandy, Lauren, and I were writing a song as part of a challenge where they gave you a topic and you had to write about whatever topic they gave you. And the prompt that we got one month was write about a historical event or person. And I was like, what? George Washington? What are we going to write? And Lauren's like, well, I've been watching Deadwood. I was like, ooh, okay. That's kind of cool. And we had both been kind of piano pop solo artists before this. And we ended up writing two songs the same day, kind of inspired by her story. And one of them was from her point of view, and the other one was from the legend of Wild Bill Hickok dying with the dead man's hand in his hand, the aces and the eights in his hand before he got shot in the back of the head. And her lamenting over his death because apparently the rumors that she's in love with him. Who knows? We weren't there. We were kind of reading about her, and there was this quote that said, I figure if a girl wants to be a legend, she should just do that. And I was like, that's legit.
I like
And
that.
Yeah.
And then after we wrote those couple songs, it kind of just turned into this thing where we were meeting for like 4 hours at a time and talking about branding and all this stuff that we'd never discussed before. And yeah, several years later, here we are, like still doing the dang thing. So
it's crazy how it like just kind of snowballs. It's the same kind of happened, right, with our project, Kristina. Like we started off with a couple songs and it was like the floodgates just opened, so inspired, and then it turned into the podcast, and now we just recorded our first album, and then it's just like, it's crazy how things, when it's meant to be and you find that kind of like chemistry with somebody else, like creative chemistry, what it can turn into.
So how long did you know Lauren before you started your project together?
I knew her about 8 years actually before we started the project together. We had been in another girl group together, and we had
the Twilight one.
Yep.
You're gonna have to tell us about that.
Oh my Lord. Okay, she might kill me because I've actually never talked about this in a media outlet before, but I have a feeling she'd be okay with it. Yeah, we were part of like a girl group. We were like 5 individual songwriters, but we all would play at the same gigs around Los Angeles, and we were all book nerds. And one night we were playing a gig together, 4 of the 5 of us, and we were like, that song, she wrote that song about Twilight. And then, no, she wrote that song about Twilight. And she wrote that song about Twilight. And like, long story short, I don't want to get into it too much, but we ended up having a little bit of success with it because it was such a phenomenon. We would like play in Hot Topic storefronts, and like we were the warm-up crowd for like the film actors, like doing Q&As and stuff like that. And it was really fun. It was for a little while a little bit of a skeleton in our closet, but I feel like Twilight's having like a cult classic comeback right now.
100%.
So I'm comfortable with speaking about it now.
100%. I would love to hear your stuff that you had in your Twilight days. Is that in public domain anywhere to listen to?
Been mostly scrubbed from the interwebs, but I can probably, I know of a couple corners of the interwebs where I could probably find you something and send it to you. I'd be happy to.
Nice.
So you can have a good laugh.
Appreciate a copy of that. That would be awesome. Crimson Calamity, your guys' music is so much fun. It kind of reminds me of like the Wreckers kind of vibe.
Oh, thank you. We love the Wreckers. I want a new Wreckers record. Where's that?
Same.
Bring that to us, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Hearing things that they've been trying to get back together, but I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I know. I want to say it was like 2021 or 2022. They like posted on their Wreckers social media, and they're like, "We're cooking up something for y'all," and I was like, "No way!" And then it's been cricket ever since then, and I'm like, "What's happening?"
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see.
They tease something, but I don't know what's going to happen with that. But anyway,
we like a good tease. But from one movie, from Twilight. Okay, here's the connection. Stevie Nicks had that song.
That's right.
She was inspired to write, which was
Vampire something. Is it Vampire's Dream?
Dude,
I don't remember the name of the song.
I remember reading somewhere that she wrote like more than one song. Like she wrote like several because she like loved the book so much, which made me feel better about my Twilight band that I was in. Yes, but she did. She's like a Twihard, and then obviously we know her like immeasurable contribution to the Practical Magic movie. So
So what was your first experience with watching Practical Magic or reading? What happened first, and did it stick immediately? Some people is like, oh, I had to come back to it. But tell us about your first experience.
Okay, get ready for the nerdery to begin.
Buckled in.
Also, I wanted to point out I wore my leather jacket that has a little pin that says one green eye and one blue, just for you all.
Hashtag heterochrome.
I'm very obsessed with it, like no joke. I went and saw the movie for my 15th birthday with my best friend Rachel, and at the time I had like jet black hair. She has like naturally like strawberry blonde kind of reddish hair, so we were like, oh my gosh, that's us. Da da da. But I was literally overcome with so much emotion once Maria Owens like steps off the plank of the gallows, and then the rope breaks and she lands and they all go running and screaming, because I just like my family's very witchy, especially on my mom's side. Like I have weird ties like to Bridget, Bishop of Salem. I don't think I'm related to her by blood because she was married to, like, my legal last name is Bishop, and so her husband or whatever, when she married that guy, that's who I'm related to. But I also, my mom...
You're just gonna walk by that?
She dropped that bomb and left.
Yeah, I don't know how like close it is though. You know what I mean? I can't tell you like it was my great grandfather. It could be like
incredible.
It could be like a cousin once 32nd times removed. I have no idea. But that's on the Bishop side, and then on the Trunnell side, my grandmother's maiden name is Mallory, which is why my first name is Mallory. And Sir Thomas Mallory is the guy who like wrote the first like published manuscript, I guess, of the King Arthur legend stories. He's the first one that put it in print, and I'm not related to him, but his cousin is my direct descendant as well.
That is so cool. That is so cool.
Yeah, so like
you're basically related to King Arthur.
Yeah, pretty much. Me and Art, he's a good bud. But no, literally something like, I know it sounds so silly and cheesy, but something literally stirred in my soul the minute that she stepped off of that plank and they all ran away. I was just like, oh my gosh, like this movie's got me. And then, you know, it's about sisters, and I don't have a sister. I have 6 brothers. So it was really, really cool. Yeah, definitely insane. Everything about it. We all know, right? The house, the aesthetic, the girls' hair, the girls' outfits, the 2 little girls, Kylie and Antonia, and the aunts. I'm still obsessed with them to this day and want to be them when I grow up. But yeah, I just really loved the movie so very much. And I just loved how it was like this female community of people overcame this like familial curse. And like, you know, I didn't know it at the time, but as a teenager, I think that it helped me to start to alchemize some of the, you know, ancestral feelings in my family line, especially on, you know, my mom's side. And it was just a really, really cool experience. I was obsessed with it ever since then. Like the minute it came out on VHS, I bought it. The minute it came out on DVD, I bought it. I've bought it several times and given copies away to people that I have no idea if they even liked it or if they even watched it, but I was like, you have to watch this. So yeah.
Did you see it in the movie theater when it came out, or did you wait till it came out on VHS?
I did see it in the movie theater. Yeah. I was so lucky. Like my parents, my mom and my stepdad like got my best friend and I like a little like hotel room that had like a kitchenette in it. Ooh. And it was like across the street from the mall with the movie theater in it. And if you've ever seen the Melissa Joan Hart movie Drive Me Crazy that has the carousel inside the mall, that's the mall. And so yeah, it was really, really fun. We went to the movie theater and then like went back and like ate shitty food and like, you know,
that sounds perfect.
Great little teenager night, but like we were both raving about it. It was so much fun. We still always say like she's the Sally to my Jillian, or I'm the Sally to her Jillian. We're both more like Sally than Jillian, but I guess between the two of us, I'm more of the Jillian, just by nature of me bopping around in like a van a lot. So
I have a question that's not on the list.
Okay.
Would you have fallen for Jimmy? I know I would have.
Oh, absolutely. I have fallen for a Jimmy in my lifetime. In fact, there are songs that are out on the interwebs that are about my Jimmy. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, I have some songs like that too. And I, you know,
yeah,
great songs, but not great experience.
Yeah. Wouldn't recommend. 0 out of 5 stars. But it was free therapy to write the songs.
Right. Yeah, that's how you got to look at it. Free therapy.
Absolutely. For sure. Yeah. That's a good question. I like that.
Yeah, before when you were saying that you were more of a Jillian or a Sally, I was also going to ask, that was actually one of our questions on here. So as far as the aunts, are you more of a Jet or a Frances?
Franny all the way, for sure.
You are.
Yeah, but I love Jet. I want to be more like Jet.
You are Jet. You are totally Jet. Kristina, is she not a Jet? Like whenever, so Mallory is on our Wisteria Vine, and whenever me and Kristina are like having a day, Mallory like talks us off the ledge with her very calm voice.
Oh my gosh.
I cannot say enough about Mallory's voice.
She's just so calming.
I don't know what you have in your larynx, but it's amazing.
Your larynx.
I don't know what I have in there either.
However,
thank you.
We talked about Jet in a whole episode, and the power that she holds, and the little twists that she's able to manifest. Like she's got the keys to the kingdom, but her power is so subtle, and I love it. And I think that you have both very, very equally, Jet. And Franny.
Thank you. I will take that and run with it because I want to be more like Jet than Franny. Like, no, I love Franny. Don't get me wrong. I have an aunt named Gail who's actually exactly like Franny. I'll send you guys a picture of her when she was younger. She has the hair and everything. Like it's wild. Yeah. I love both of them so much. So I'll take being any split of the two of them as an observation. Thank you.
What kind of special significance, I guess, through the years and even now, does practical magic hold in your life?
It's so interesting because it's always been with me, but I haven't ever really embraced like my witchy self as a practice that I knew about. I was unconsciously doing it, but I never consciously started like following the Wheel of the Year or anything like that until the pandemic. I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. Or like I would dress kind of gothy or witchy and I have like some tarot cards and stuff like that. But I never really like learned about the different things that are out there. And I'm very much a solitary witch. I'm very much an eclectic witch, but I think the movie really made it safe for me to feel like it was okay to go there, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially that little, like, the line always sticks with me because I grew up in Utah and there's one religion there that's very predominant, and like me liking that movie probably wouldn't be popular with a lot of people there. But I think that what stuck with me is when he's questioning her about like, you're into devil worship and da-da-da, good old Gary. And she says, no, there's no devil in the craft. I was just like, something like felt like it was lifted off my shoulders when I heard that. It's been a North Star in a lot of ways. And since then I have read the books and I absolutely, love the books as well. I especially love the Rules of Magic and Magic Lessons. Practical Magic as a book is, I think, only harder for me because I didn't read it first before I saw the movie. And I like the changes that they made in the movie versus the book, just from a plot perspective. But I do like the Practical Magic book, and Book of Magic I have feelings about, but I'm glad that it's there because if it wasn't there, we might not be getting a sequel. So I'm happy that it's there for that reason alone. And yeah, I could talk about that too. I mean, the fact that a lot of the original creative team thus far is on board for the film makes me feel like that book turned movie could be really cool. So
yeah. So you do think, one of the questions on our list today was like, what are your hopes for the new movie? What were your initial thoughts when you heard the announcement? And I guess, like, what do you think, or what are your predictions and theories about where this plot is going to go? You think it's going to be based on the Book of Magic?
I think it will kind of have to at least loosely be based on that, because in screenplays you need like a lot of conflict and action, bullet point to bullet point going on, which the first movie definitely has. I think so. Okay, predictions. Well, first of all, I really hope they can make the math in this one.
Thank you. It drives me crazy.
Secondly, I don't want to give spoilers away for anyone who hasn't read Book of Magic, so I won't say an outcome, but I hope there's one outcome that happens in that book that I don't want to happen. I don't know if I'll be able to have that because it might move the plot along, but I don't think it has to happen to move the plot along.
Right.
So
Right.
I'd like to put out there that there's an outcome that does not happen with a certain individual. But the rest of the book I'm kind of fine with. I would like to see the character of Vincent show up. I think that would be rad.
Yes.
Because I love him.
He was in the Book of Magic, right?
Yeah.
He was. Yeah, he played a huge role.
Yeah.
What is the man's name? I forget every single time. The director of Twin Peaks. He was in Twin Peaks.
Oh, David Lynch?
David Lynch. That's who I picture as old Vincent.
Really?
With his
love
hair.
that.
And just
Okay.
like, he's a handsome guy. But yeah, that's who I'm seeing.
I
as
love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
David
Yeah,
Lynch.
Mallory,
Yeah.
you had a theory when the WB posted that teaser on TikTok midnight, the midnight TikTok teaser,
Mm-hmm.
the 3 candles, right?
Yeah, I did. Well, it's shifted because Sandy and Nicole are attached to the project. But
Right.
when I first saw the 3 candles, I was like, well, that's Franny, Jet, and Vincent. It's Rules of Magic. And I thought we were getting a prequel, and I got really excited. Which I guess maybe we still could, but I don't really see how that would work if the gals are going to be in it. It's too close. So
What if they like meshed Rules of Magic and Book of Magic somehow?
that would be really cool.
Flashback, flash forward type deal.
I feel like Rules of Magic could just use, again, its own series, its own mini series.
Yeah.
There's so much there.
It's
I
what they were
know.
gonna do. It got canceled.
I know. So yeah, like Book of Magic could be Practical Magic too.
Yeah.
And Rules of Magic gets its own series because there's so much.
I almost feel like because Denise Denovi is on board, and I think she was on board for the Rules of Magic when it was in development as well, I feel like they did the right thing by, even though I was so frustrated that I stayed up till midnight to watch them just drop half of the movie on TikTok. Like, I was so mad. I was like, ugh. And then I was like, wait a minute. I always have to think from a marketing perspective here as an artist, and this is genius. They're getting everybody mad about it, talking about it, all the engagement, all the impressions, all the reposts, and it doesn't matter as long as the algorithm likes it. So
Right.
I feel like they could be making this part 2, as it were, to see how it does. And then if it does well, I think we might get, it just might be a few more years than we
There's
wanted it to be.
so much content she's written in those just 4 books.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I hope it's, I feel like they'll do a good job with it based so far off of who's rumored to be attached to the project. I feel hopeful just because of the result between Practical Magic and the book and the movie. Like, I feel like they'll do a great job with it. The writers are really strong. So
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully they can recreate that same charm that it had in the 90s. And me and Kristina were just recording our episode for this coming Friday. By the time you hear this recording, guys, it'll be July, and that recording has already came and went. But we were just talking about that, right?
Yes, we need it to be simple. We don't need it to be abracadabra Harry Potter. Just make it be simple.
Yeah, that's all.
I mean, the part that won't be simple for the production team is they have to rebuild the house, and they have to rebuild the house to the brick and beam and paint color.
Yeah,
and yeah,
Kristina has her bifocals on. I'm gonna notice.
Yeah, and we were talking about on the episode we just recorded how we really hope that even if this is Book of Magic with 25 years later, we really hope that the movie isn't bogged down with modern conveniences. Like, we don't want to see cell phones, we don't want to see flat screen TVs and that gorgeous laptop.
Ooh, yes.
I really hope they keep it timeless.
I don't even need to see a car, to
right?
be honest, because we didn't see anybody. Sally was running into town half the time.
They had
That's
the cars.
true.
They had the cars. They just never used them.
Right.
You guys are so good at noticing that stuff. Like, when that episode, I was driving in my car. I remember this very vividly. I was driving in my car, and you guys were like, she takes the keys and then she runs to town, and I was like, what? That's such a good point. Like, why is she taking those keys? Like, I guess
so in shape.
Yeah.
If you're having brownies for breakfast, though,
right, you gotta run
to town.
It's that Owen's magic, man. It's that black soap. Apparently, it also helps you keep a trim figure. Who
that
knew?
Owen's metabolism.
Yeah, there you go.
So we wanted to ask, so how did you come across our podcast? And I guess, what are your favorite things about it so far?
Ooh,
Tell us about us.
Tell us about us.
I can totally tell you guys about you. So how did I find it? I mean, I follow a lot of Practical Magic accounts on the internet, and I started following them because, well, this is a roundabout story. If this is too much of a tangent, feel free to cut any of this out. But I started writing this musical that was supposed to be about this alternative story about Shakespeare. And I was like, oh, this is going to be really hard, and I'm going to have to do a lot of research. And I was like, okay, I feel like I should do something else first. And then I thought about Practical Magic, and I was like, that would make a really good musical. Holy crap. And I was like, but if I was going to go see Practical Magic the musical, what would I want? And I was like, I want that score. I want that Alan Silvestri score. I want that. I want Crystal. I want all the things. Those aren't my songs. I didn't write those. So what I started doing was just rewatching the movie, kind of thinking about the format, and I started just following all the things on Instagram and TikTok, and I found your podcast. I think I found it before you guys started it. Like very, 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 very new into it. I'm pretty sure I did, because I remember you guys posting about it, and I was like, oh my God, no way! Yay! Someone's doing a podcast. Oh, yes, this is everything my little inner child needs. So I followed immediately, and listened to straight from episode 1. I've been with you since the beginning. Don't be sorry. You guys apologize way too much about the quote unquote quality of the first episodes.
Rough.
And but it's fine. First of all, we're all here because we love Practical Magic. We love the whole universe, and you two and the way you play off of each other is so great. Nobody cares. I promise you. Nobody gives an ish whether or not it's too long, quote unquote. If it's the sound, yeah, okay, you got some cool snowball mics and you've got some pop filters, and that's awesome. You guys are pros, and you level up all the time. You're continuing to do it with your EP and everything like that. So, but all of the episodes are just chock full. I really love how you do all the different applications. I love the AI stories. I love the Myers-Briggs tests. I love speculating about astrological signs descriptions of the characters, and I love that each of the lead and supporting characters gets their own episode. But you guys like take it a step further, even like you just talk about how these, you know, herbs and kind of archetypes and different things work in the witchy world and have real world applications. And I don't know, I think that's so special. And you guys are so funny and you're so charming. I'm not even kidding. Like I could like go on like from the jump. I was like, I really want to be friends with them. And then I was like, you know what? Like I don't want to like listen to their songs and then like accidentally write something that sounds like one of their songs, because you know how that can happen when you're a songwriter. So I held off for forever joining the Patreon, because I was just like, I don't want to like, you know, muck that up. Like I want to, like, integrity is really important to me as an artist, especially here in Nashville, because I have a couple friends that have had some songs stolen, and I'm just like, I don't want to even accidentally have something happen. So I avoided that, and I did base my songs that I've worked on that are not already canon of the soundtrack as variations on a theme, essentially, for some of the other characters. But I just couldn't not join the Patreon. Like it just got to a point where I was like, nah, screw this. I want to know these girls.
We remember when
wipe my credit card.
Messaged us like the first time. We were in Boston the very first time. Everything was moving and grooving. We were so jacked for time. Everything was overlapping, and we were in Boston for a little bit, and we were trying to get to Salem. And I remember your message coming through. It was in the morning, and we were getting ready for the day, and we're like,
you're getting ready for our photo shoot that day.
We were like, I gotta text her back. But so sorry if we came off like assholes. We were not trying to, but we're so glad that you stuck around.
No, you didn't come off that way at all. I actually do not recall what you even said. Like, I think
we remember you.
Yeah,
that's all that matters.
I do remember you writing back, but I think the way I took things was just like, yeah, we're like in the studio. It's going to be really busy. We're going to go do photos. And I was like, yeah, get it. Go have fun. I didn't take it. And like, you didn't come off. You guys are always very warm and very like attentive and responsive. Like there's no any kind of anything like there. So don't apologize.
We definitely remembered you. And then when you joined the Patreon, we were so freaking excited. So excited you joined. Yeah. So yeah, now we're glad that we're friends. We are friends now.
Yeah, I was so excited I joined too, because I knew it was gonna be a good time. Like just based off the little voices you guys do for like mugwort and stuff like that, I was like, okay,
these are people that I could get along with.
Yeah.
We're so close. I think we're gonna try to make it happen that our paths cross very soon.
I hope so. Right? Yeah, that'd be awesome. I want to have you guys come on my podcast and talk about your music. So
tell us a little bit about your podcast. First question though, is Lauren, your partner in Crimson Calamity, also a practicing witch, or?
She is, yeah. We have our own, like, it's so funny because like she identifies a little bit more, like, I wouldn't even say she calls herself a Christian witch, but she grew up Catholic and she had a good experience with that, unlike a lot of people we know.
Wow.
And yeah, I know, it's wild. But there's things like if you talk to her about it and you're like, but what about? She's like, oh, I know, yeah, that's weird. But
she gets it.
Yeah, she does. She totally gets it, and she's a really spiritual person and has that connection. And again, like both of us are kind of solitary witches. Where we come together though is like how we do our songs. And in fact, like our whole next set of songs, I don't even know if I'm allowed to like say much about it, but they're witchy AF. Yeah. Like we just changed our little thing from saying like outlaw lady duo on Instagram to saying witch vocana. So
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. So the next stuff coming up is very much witchy. So yes, she's very aligned with that. I mean, we both love to wear black, and we love cats, and we love nature, and yeah, it's definitely very much a part of who both of us are, for sure.
Right. Yeah. I was gonna say something in regards to, did you guys get Lori's message earlier in the Wisteria Vine, how she was talking about like she's like, I'm a hit or miss witch, like I don't have time to practice all the time, and like that's fine, like you have your, like, you guys, you and your partner, you write music together, and that can be your magic, right? And like me and Kristina, like we're so busy with the podcast, we don't have time to be doing our like little spells here and there anymore. We spend time in our garden, maybe that's, and making peace with the earth every day, like that's as witchy as we get or have time for anyway nowadays. But like I feel like when we can come together and we're creative together, that's our magic, and like that's our witchcraft. And like we have alchemized alchemized, and even you with your songwriting, like we've all alchemized something amazing here in this little community. And every day I'm just so freaking excited to be here.
It's building, isn't it?
Yeah. You can feel it bubbling. Can you feel it bubbling?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And it's cool to see, like, you know, I see the same people commenting on the Magnolia Street Podcast Instagram and TikTok, and then I see them commenting on other Practical Magic accounts, and I'm like, okay, here's all the cool peeps. Like, this is where the cool girls, the cool witches hang out at.
I want a bumper sticker that says "Hit or Miss Witch."
Hit or Miss Witch, yeah.
Trash Witch, something like that.
Quote Lori.
I love that. I love that Lori said that. I have a friend named Carla who's really witchy, and she's like, I'm a trash witch goblin. That's what she always says. She's British. She cracks me up. She's so funny. She's like, it's like, I do things but I don't do it proper. It's just, I love it. It's so funny.
What we can all appreciate about Practical Magic is that Sally and Jillian, the resurrection scene, the whipped cream star,
hit or miss,
speak to our inner trash witch.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
Yes. They give us permission to be our trash witch.
She's like, this is all I could find. And she's like, this is good.
This is perfect.
Yeah, whatever works,
so
works.
So
right?
supportive.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's so funny because Mallory, I was like, does Mallory see our notes here? Because she was hitting all of our bullet points, boom, 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 herself. Like, we didn't have to ask you any questions. I was like,
I wasn't trying. Yes,
like,
exactly.
Is Mallory peeping on our notes here? But,
I'm psychic. No, I'm kidding.
Everything that we wanted to ask you, and we're just so happy and excited that you're here with us on Magnolia Street and that we've become friends. And
thank you for welcoming a new neighbor. Thanks for having me. This has been a pleasure.
Welcome to the neighbor.
We'd like to have you back for a little more in-depth of an interview regarding music.
Sure.
Is that cool? Okay.
Yeah, anytime. Absolutely.
So before you go, why don't you give yourself a little plug? Where can we find your music? Where can we find your podcast? And all things Mallory.
Okay. My handle on Instagram is at Mallory Trunnell. There's lots of L's and N's, so double up on everything. The band handle is Crimson and then the letter C, music, all one word, on all social platforms. And if you go to that page, you will be able to find the Liner Notes podcast with Crimson Calamity. It has its own little kind of side thing. So that's all of our things.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
All right. We'll talk soon.
All right. Thanks, girls.
Hi, good morning.
Hi. Sorry, I was just pulling cards.
Okay, what did you pull?
Actually, I pulled one from each of my decks. So, I pulled from the Animal Oracle, the Scorpion, which is all about perseverance and survival.
Awesome.
And then I pulled from the Crystal deck, Serpentine, which is manifestation and intentions.
I love that.
From the Herb deck, Fern, which is connecting to Earth magic.
Oh, I love ferns.
And then I thought this was so fitting for the Oracle.
The star.
The star.
Nice.
Those cards over the weekend, Joseph. And the moon. I bought a shirt with a snake on it, Serpentine, right? And I was thinking, Jimmy, very Jimmy. I have a belt buckle coming in the mail, has a scorpion on it.
Oh my God.
That's so weird.
Isn't that cool?
I love it. Hold on. I'm
Did
going to close my
you
door.
predict that card pull?
He sure did.
Wow. That's amazing. How are you? How was your solstice? What did you do? Did you do anything special for it?
I actually didn't really do much for it. I mean, I sat out on my patio and kind of like walked the dog a little longer, but I didn't really do anything. I haven't been feeling as like energetic magically, you know,
okay.
But I mean, phases in and out, but summer's here. So I'm thinking that it's going to ignite again, you know?
Your energy is in so many other things, but are you like Justina, where like the summer gets your ass in gear and you're in project mode?
Yeah, that's
or are you sluggish like me?
Oh no, I'm already like working on like deck stuff.
You have a lot of other new decks in the works?
I have a couple that I'm like playing with ideas, but I want to really focus on redoing the tarot, the Practical Magic Tarot for a second edition, and doing mini versions of that and the Oracle. So
versions.
Yeah.
Like travel size.
I love it.
That's cute. So you take it on the go. Because this is a hefty box here. Like it's a big thing.
Quality box.
It is. But like if you're going away on like a trip or like you don't have a lot of room in your luggage for stuff, it is a big box. So a travel edition is a really good idea. I like that.
Well, plus like me, I like to keep my things all like pristine, you know, and I'd be like, it's gonna get ruined in travel.
That too.
So, like, I want to do like metal tins for the travel, because then it's like you can just throw it in your bag.
I love that. I've gotten pulled over at TSA for a deck of tarot cards because the scanner can't see through it.
Oh my
So they're
God.
like, we have to open this up. What is? I had like 4 decks in there though, so maybe they thought I was hacking.
They're like, this girl's a magician. Can't
Burn her.
Burn her.
Yeah.
Good morning, Joseph. Do you want to introduce yourself? This is not your first time on Magnolia Street. As our Vincent, welcome back.
Yes, it's an honor to be back. I've been waiting to come back, and I feel like now's the perfect time because of what was announced.
Can we gush about it a little bit?
Yeah.
Here, I'll do my intro or whatever.
Yes, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, we'll get to all that stuff.
All right. I am Joseph with Grounded by the Moon. I am a passionate lover of practical magic and all things practical magic. It has inspired me to create a deck, and from there I kind of expanded my whole craft and started offering my magic to others to help them embrace their own magic and follow their path.
Nice.
So Joseph was here on our episode 58, and this was back in December of last year.
Whoa.
Please go check out his full interview and hear all about the projects he had then. But right now you have so many transformative, your projects are kind of taking their own little path creatively.
This is true.
I'm so excited to hear about them. Is there something that we didn't cover in your interview? We want to hear again how practical magic came into your life, what it means to you now, and kind of how it, I guess, inspired your creations.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much covered everything last time, but every time you revisit practical magic, like something else kind of triggers and awakens within you, you know? So that's really what I love about it. And like I said in my first interview, when I first saw it when I was younger, I was like, okay, like this is cool, you know? And then I saw it like years later and I was like, oh my God, like this is a treasure, you know?
Yeah.
It kind of like awakened the magic within me, so to speak. And then from there, like I found out that there was books, you know, and the books are their own special magic and I appreciate them. And especially because of the Vincent character, I just felt so like seen, I guess, and like represented that it was really nice, especially in such a big like fandom that she like included that. That was really awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I remember when your first Oracle deck came out and I was like flipping through the cards, and back, you know, when that came out and I got that deck, I had not read the first book in a really long time. So I was flipping through and I was like, I don't understand what that card means. I don't understand what that card means. And then like going back to the books, I'm like, oh, he included things from the books too. So that is really cool that you incorporated both elements from the movie and the book. So I really like that about your decks.
Yeah, I actually want to, once I sell out of my second edition of the Oracle, I want to do a third edition, add and change some cards and pay a little more homage to the books as well, to kind of encourage people to read them. For instance, like the black soap.
Right.
I want to include that as a card instead of, I think, the rose quartz for like healing.
Oh, much more specific to the book.
Yeah.
Which book is your favorite? I think we talked about this. Some people don't listen in order. Maybe somebody hasn't met you back in December, so feel free to reiterate, but which book is your favorite?
Rules of Magic, hands down.
Hands down.
It's the one I constantly like go back to. It just, I don't know, the way it was written and all the characters and Vincent. So like it just really got that practical magic energy. Like I think it kind of captured more of like the movies vibe in that book than in the original practical magic book, because the book and the movie are like their own little worlds in a way.
Right.
Yeah. So for the remake, do you have any theories about what this, like the plot is going to be? Are you hoping that they're going to like throw in some rules of magic, and what do you think?
I hope so. I think what they're probably going to try to do is do like they're going to like splice it, and they're going to be like, oh, like part of the movie will be like, oh, when they were kids, it's kind of what happened. And then like towards the end, be like, so now we need to like break the curse again. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would love for Vincent to be represented, you know?
Who would you want to see play Vincent?
I don't know. That's the thing. Like, it's so hard to like cast, in my opinion, because like, I don't know, even just any book character, pretty much, you're just kind of like, no one's like specifically that, you know?
It's an amalgamation of so many different factors. I always try to fan cast because I have such a hard time just having this like ghost of a character.
What about Billy Zane? I'm just kidding.
Oh my God. That's what we did, throw that around. We
I know you guys are obsessed with him.
A couple episodes ago, we were like, we're gonna manifest him being in this second movie. You just watch.
Yes.
I hope it happens. I really do. Just so we can like be the ones to be like, everybody, we told you so.
Right.
There's a character from Ginny and Georgia. His name is Felix Mallard. Did you guys watch that show back in the day? He kind of gives me Vincent vibes.
Like a young Vincent.
Young Vincent, yeah. Him for young Vincent and David Lynch for old Vincent.
Kristina's got the David Lynch.
He's a handsome older man. That's all.
Yeah.
So
I actually just reordered because I have all the books in like hardcover and I want to like read them on the go. So I just ordered copies of the last 2 books that came out, but not, so I'm gonna reread them all again and take notes for future deck stuff.
Are you gonna start chronologically? Or are you gonna go in like chronological order?
I am. I'm gonna start all the way at the beginning and read it.
I love Maria's story. Yeah. I've
already read Practical Magic and Rules so many times, but still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maria's story. I don't know. Are you an Outlander fan? Maria's story reminds me so much of Outlander, the show.
I've never seen Outlander, but I hear things about it. I did like her book.
You would love it, I think. Yeah. If you love Maria's story and Practical Magic, I think you would really love it. It's kind of like the same vibe. Like she's like a medicine woman, and obviously in those times, like she's a time traveler, first of all. But she goes back in time and she's labeled a witch because she's like healing people, right? So even though she's using her powers for good, she's still looked to cast down upon because she's a woman. First of all, she's a woman, and then the whole healer thing. So it is a really cool it was a book series first, and the books are
big ass books.
I've seen the book.
I'm so intimidated. Like I would love to read the books. I'm just very intimidated by all those pages. I think you would really like the show. It's really cool.
So you said you got all the hardbacks of the 4 books, is that right?
Yeah, I have all the hardcovers, and then I have like the new Practical Magic 25th anniversary one that came out, and like
how do the hardcovers
like blue paperback?
How do the hardcovers look all lined up? Because sometimes like production, they don't always look very aesthetically pleasing. How do they all look together?
Like this.
All right.
They are kind of like different spines and stuff. So maybe
fix that.
That's an idea, like a new book jacket.
New book jackets. Who is our bookbinder, Justina?
Oh, Wild Spellcraft.
Wild
right?
Spellcraft. They should.
Is that her?
I think it is.
Yeah. Paige.
Yeah. They should do all 4 separately, but then have you seen where people take like a series and put them all together in one big ass fat book?
I literally just messaged her and I was like, hey, so random question. Are you able to like combine all the Practical Magic books in like one binding? And she hasn't responded to me.
Maybe when she hears this, Paige, we're calling you out.
It is, I know she's been busy in like Anne Rice land. Did you see she just like bought Anne Rice's dress?
Oh,
I know.
She did like a whole photo shoot with like the dress.
She looks amazing.
Oh my god. Yeah, she was born for that dress. So amazing. But yeah, she's so talented with her bookbinding stuff. Like I don't even know how you could figure out that you could do that.
Right.
It looks kind of, I don't know if it's technical, but like my brain doesn't.
It looks like it has to be very like measured out.
Precise. Yeah.
Precise. You got to take your time with it.
Exactly.
Joseph, we spoke with a woman by the name of Karen Awad a few weeks ago. This maybe last month. I'm not positive what her, it was episode 84. And before her interview, I sent her your interview to listen to just to get a feel of how we just converse and hang out. And she had so many good things to say about you. She was blown away by your work and just how much you have going on, that you're like a one-man show making all the decisions, and your product is just amazing. So if you want to stroke your ego a little bit, go check out her episode.
Yeah.
It's at 84.
Nice things to say for sure.
Noted. I mean, we all need that sometimes. So.
We all want to know that we're doing a good job, right? Like we just want somebody to be like, yeah, you go. You pat yourself on the back.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about your relationship with Alice Hoffman, your correspondence with her over the past couple years, how that's been like? What is she like?
Yeah, actually, I mean, so obviously she's like a famous author, so you messaging an author, you never ever think you're gonna like get a response. And the fact that she even responded, I was like blown away. And I like reached out and I was like, hey, I made an Oracle deck that's like inspired by my love of like your book series and the movie. And long story short, I like asked for an address to ship one out to her, and she got it. But the magic thing is, it shipped to like a different address that she was no longer at, but it still found its way to her.
Oh wow.
I love it.
Right? And then so like she was telling me that and I was like, oh my gosh, and she loves it. And then I sent her a copy of the tarot. So I know that she loves it, and that's just like the
cherry
tea,
on
you know,
top.
like cherry on top. Yeah.
Do you
Yeah, I
think he
see.
does tarot?
I see
I
her
don't know.
repost his stuff sometimes. She reposts your stuff.
I
I've
want to
seen-
know if she is like pulling cards with her friends or just
Right.
like by
Right?
herself.
Yeah.
And she's like with my deck too. Like imagine.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
It's humbling, you know, that someone so big can take the time to like reach out to someone like so small, so to speak, you know, and that they appreciate what their fans have done. You know what I mean? And she's like amazing. Like she reposts so many people's like creations and like you guys, she reposts all the time. Like she's very involved with her fan base and I love that.
Yes, she
Yeah.
is.
We were super excited the other day when she reposted our summer solstice song, right? That was so exciting.
It's just very surreal, and you're right. Like
Right.
we are really nobody, right?
Yeah.
But she takes the time, whether it's her or her publicist, we don't know. But it really doesn't matter to me. The fact that it's an answer of some kind or a reaction, that means the world to a fan.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's her though, just like judging by like the messages, because it's not like all like professionally written. It's just kind of quick, like, yeah, here's the response, you know, because she's busy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have like a theory that it may or may not be her we're actually talking to on her messages because she is busy. So like we don't know. She might have a person that answers all those messages, but like I would like to think some of those are her. Like, you know.
Yeah.
How did you come across our podcast?
I think I was
Remember?
looking at like Practical Magic posts on Instagram and you guys popped up possibly, or you might have reached out to me. I think you probably reached out to me because I remember you saying you backed my Kickstarter.
Yes. Yeah, I backed your Oracle deck, I think the second edition.
Mhm.
And then yeah, I was fangirling your deck for a couple years, but so I probably did reach out to you.
Wait, did you do a YouTube video of my deck?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Okay. I think that's where it happened because I saw the video and I was like, oh my God, she's like, is so in. And then I like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
coming back.
It's all
Because you were
coming.
like totally fan. You were like, I waited forever for this and I waited to open it till I got back from a vacation or something, I think.
Yeah.
Or so-
Yeah.
See, it's all coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like so excited when I even saw your deck pop up. I think it popped up in like a Instagram ad or something, and I was like, "What? A Practical Magic Oracle deck?" I was blown away. And your packaging and your whole aesthetic and everything is so beautiful. All the work you put into these. So, yeah, I couldn't not do a video about it. Are you kidding me? Like I just wanted to gush about it and like blow you up and send all the business your way and all the fans that find my videos, push them all your way, and hopefully, you know, make some more sales and just get your name out there because I think you deserve to be
I
out there.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Being a Practical Magic, like a solitary Practical Magic fan,
Yeah.
it's you're just in your own little world. And the minute that you find out somebody is creating or doing something involved with that,
Follow.
follow immediately. I don't care
Yeah.
who you are. Yeah.
And like we all just like want to be friends with each other, which I think is like really cool. This community that like we just stumbled upon, Kristina, by even like starting this podcast. Like it's amazing how many Practical Magic fans have come out of the woodwork, and like we're meeting new fans every day, and just
I
getting
know
to
it's crazy. Like I made the deck and everything when I did the first edition, and it was only like 100 copies. You know, because I'm like, I don't know, it's very niche. You know, it's
Yeah.
a specific thing. And then like the fact that like so many, I didn't even know there was like a base of like community of like Practical Magicians.
They're all coming together.
Yeah, and you know, your product will find its audience, right? It'll find its proper audience.
That's right. What was the first deck that you, I guess, created and sold as your own?
It was my first edition of the Practical Magic Oracle. It's either 2018 or 2019, but I hand edged like all the decks
Oh,
and
wow.
everything for people.
Was there any other theme that you thought you would ever want to make before you made the Practical Magic one that you were leaning towards?
No, actually, this is kind of where it started. So I was hanging out with my witchy friend and we started watching Practical Magic. And at the time I was very into like making magical intention like sprays and oils and stuff like that. So then I did like a whole like Practical Magic inspired like spray set.
Yeah.
And so from there, like at the time I was taking a digital design class. I was taking Adobe Illustrator and it was like the only class I took. And after that I was like, I can make a deck all of a sudden. And then so like it
The
just kinda
opposite
happened
of imposter syndrome.
Right.
Yeah. So I taught myself how to do it and got templates and reached out to printers and everything. So it's been a learning process, definitely. The first deck was very rushed and I don't want to say cheaply made, but like compared to my stuff now, it doesn't even compare.
It's matured. It's fine vintage now.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And I've been
though,
trying to
because,
like branch out from just decks. So.
Yeah, I think it's better to start and just like start where you are and like let it be scrappy and then you find your way as you go and you perfect as you go. Some people just like try to wait until everything is perfect and they know enough information. You're never going to know enough information. Like it's always things to learn, and I think it's really courageous of you to just start where you are and grow with that project, and then you'll get to where you want to go, but you just gotta start.
I know with each deck I kind of like one up myself. It seems. So
see that it's
leveling up.
You're amazing. Leveling up.
Right. Yeah.
What is your ideal dream goal for your company?
I mean, I haven't really thought about it, but I keep telling myself like if I want to like grow big, I need to eventually like not do everything on my own.
Yeah.
And like hire people, but
Kristina, we're learning that, right? We gotta start outsourcing,
So I've outsourced like most of my production stuff is outsourced. I used to like cut all my own like stickers and stuff with like a silhouette machine and all that, but I was like, this is time I could be like creating, and so it's kind of just figuring that out. But I do want to create multiple decks. I want to have like dozen decks at least or something,
deck.
Candles. I've been getting back into making candles. I actually am working on a midnight margaritas candle.
Oh, shut up.
Is it gonna smell like lime and coconut?
Lime, coconut, and grapefruit.
Ooh, it's a good combination. Yeah, a little salt on the rim, or a little sea salt on top. And
so I'm trying to figure out right now, though, if I want to like put it in like a margarita glass, or if I want to put it in like a green tinted like jar, or if I want to like tint the wax like green, or if it should be yellow. Like, there's so many like.
Yeah. As a creative, I'm sure your mind goes into so many different things, so many different options that you could go with.
I designed like a label the other day at work, so that's progress.
What deck do you usually use to pull for yourself? If you're gonna pull, and like your go-to deck is which one?
Honestly, it's my tarot, which unfortunately is sold out. But I don't know. Tarot has so much more power, and there's so much more possible meaning to me. There's 78 cards, but I often try to pair at least my tarot with my oracle.
Awesome.
So how do you work with those two together? Can you give an example of like how you would incorporate the two in a reading?
Yeah, so usually I would just do like the one card pull for the day and combine both into like one. So like for instance, today was the moon and the star are symbols, which is belief. So it's like believe in the hidden influences that can have like an impact on you, like kind of compacting both meanings into one. And then I do have like a deck. I don't really use it that often, but I put both decks like together, and it's like one big fat deck. So it's really hard to shuffle.
Yeah,
but like at least that way, it's like you can just pull either like a tarot or an oracle. And,
that's cool. So you
I like that it's moon and star.
They
go
right?
together.
Yeah, that is cool.
Well, I want to know about this new edition that you're working on.
Okay.
What can you tell?
I'm working on a second edition of the tarot because the first sold out, and for it to be a different edition, there needs to be like changes. I feel at least you can't just put out the same thing. You like second edition, and kind of changing some of the imagery on card, but most importantly, if you have your deck on you, you can reference any card basically, and it has at the bottom the like element, and then at the top like the Roman numerals. So what I'm going to do in this new edition is I'm moving the image like up and blowing it up a little bigger, and then at the bottom I'm writing out 9 of fire.
Okay.
I'm not going to include the symbols, I don't think. But this way, because a lot of people get confused with like the symbols and everything, which I totally get. But
or the Roman numerals, right?
Yeah, I felt like that's a nice change. So that's kind of where I'm going. And then I think I'm going to change the box a little bit, like the design on the box, but the box is going to be the same hard clamshell or whatever book style box.
Is it going to have the same image of the brooms and the moon on the front, or is it?
I'm not sure, but I had this all in mind when I was making the deck, because on the box it says says first edition on the side.
Oh, okay.
So I knew I was going to do a second edition eventually.
Right.
I love that. I love that you like, I know this is going to get bigger, so I'm going to make it cohesive early on.
Because I also I felt like a little rushed, I want to say, when I was doing the tarot. And I want to, when I redo it this time, I want to kind of incorporate closer to the books and movies. Because there's some things in it, but I feel like the way that the first edition is now, it's more of just kind of like a witches deck, not necessarily a practical magic inspired deck, if that makes sense.
Right.
There are a lot of elements though that are within.
How long do you think it took from like conception to getting the completed, like not even getting a prototype, but like, okay, now we're ready to sell it? How long did that take?
God, like a year and a half.
Wow.
And then like as soon as I finished the first edition of the tarot, I started like working on ideas and designs and stuff for like a second. And it's been like off and on though. But now I'm like, oh yes, I'm doing this. Because like before I was like, I don't know, like should I? But I'm all for it now.
We are too. That's awesome.
Yeah, things take time.
I also want to I'm like halfway done with it. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Lenormand deck.
No.
It's a different type of like divination, like runes or whatever, but it's still card, and it's more like straightforward meanings. Like ship, you'll have like travel, like just
yeah.
and then you can make like sentences out of it. It's just, I think it would be fun, and
it's like an emoji game.
Yeah. I love that.
That's
Do you
awesome.
think you'll ever do like more of like a Rider-Waite inspired deck as far as like imagery is concerned? Like, how each photo on each of those cards is more, I guess,
a scene, like a
Ooh,
full
like
picture.
Jenny
like
could
a
be the
scene.
devil.
Yeah.
So I have like 10 different decks in process, we'll be honest.
Whoa.
And that's creator
That's a
like
lot.
issue. But one of my decks is a recreation of Rider-Waite with
Oh, cool.
the
Yeah.
full image. I have like a deck I want to do like a not people but kind of like scenery for each card. So I have a lot of ideas. I want to do like a line art deck that's like halfway done. I have a lot of halfway done things.
That's amazing.
It's hard. I'm sure it's hard to like pick and choose which one you want to focus on at any given time, right? Yeah. How do you kind of make that decision? Like which one you're kind of...
I kind of feel like what I'm more drawn to, and then once I finally decide like, oh, this is my next Kickstarter, then it's like I'm kicking it in gear.
It's on.
So like
Yeah.
previously I've been kind of like playing here and there, and now I'm like, oh, Kickstarter is going to be the second. So now I'm like going to be focusing on that going forward.
Right.
And I might launch before like all the artwork is done, but I feel so weird doing that. I'm like, here, support my project that's not done yet.
That's okay. That's kind of how it was with our Magnolia Street EP. Like we had one song where we're like, hey guys, help us get the rest of these songs done. We promise they're going to sound good. Trust us. People do. Like people like what you do. They've seen what you're able to complete, and they know you pull through for them.
Exactly.
There's so much I want to do with this Kickstarter. I mean, like the decks and then the mini decks, and people have been saying for a while they want bigger books, like guidebooks. I need to do that and make like a bigger printed guidebook and figure out like what stretch goals and add on. It's always a lot, but it's always fun and rewarding.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's your passion projects. So,
it's just harder now working.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Right. You returned to your job, right? Recently?
Well, I'm in a new field. I'm in like property management now, and I work like in an office, which I've never really done before.
You like
so
it?
I love it.
Oh, good.
That's important.
And, in my downtime, I'm able to like read, or like I just
That's
downloaded like Photoshop and Illustrator on my work computer.
Oh my God,
so
that's great.
Access things and
yeah, that's cool.
How did you take the news drop of June 10th, the year of our Lord, 2024?
So I did what you guys did when you were like, wait, this is it? These are just like preview snippets of telling us it's on it. Like what? Like,
yeah. What?
Because I listened to your episode.
Awesome.
And I agree with you. I think this has been a plan for a while. Like it was an old poster.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be used, and someone released the news.
Someone leaked that shit, right?
Because like you said, there's too many similarities, and it's just like too, I don't know. Yeah. So I think it was a plan for a while, and I think that they were trying to hold it off until they could like for sure.
Yeah.
Because they're probably paying, who knows what for Sally and Julie to come out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, like we know.
Nicole Kidman did say in that one interview, she's like, this has been in the works for a while. So who knows what a while means? A couple years, because that the poster hoax was only a year ago. So,
but we know Denise
been...
Novi and Sandra Bullock had been trying to get something else, some kind of spin-off after the movie was done, at least. So I feel like in her mind, it's special to her
because they had like the TV show planned and stuff. I wonder if like they kind of were trying to get them on board with that before they like pulled the you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
There's like a lot of factors. And then I just recently found out like HBO is coming back or something.
With the Rules of Magic spin-off?
No, sorry.
As a company?
You almost got me off.
As like a company. Like they're relaunching like stuff as like HBO, and then there's like HBO Max or something. And I'm like, what the heck?
Okay, yeah.
So who knows?
Who knows what's going on? But yeah, we were all confused, excited, didn't know if it was a hoax again. Well, if it wasn't even a hoax to begin with.
I'm so like worried though. Like, you know how sometimes like sequels are so bad.
Yeah. But don't mess it up, guys.
Do you okay, so I have a question for you. Do you think they're gonna rebuild that house, or do you think they're gonna like try to like CGI it or like AI it or something?
Oh, they would probably rebuild it.
You think they're gonna rebuild?
Yeah, that's way too much like CGI and stuff, I'd feel. And that costs a lot of money.
I would hope they rebuild it.
Because my dad works in like movies and stuff. He works at Warner Brothers, so I like called him and I was like, oh my god, there's practical magic. And he's like, oh, I'll let you know if I find anything out. And I'm like, oh my god, if I could meet them, if I could take home like a piece of the set, like, oh my god, I would die.
Oh my god. Wait, you said your dad?
Yes. He he worked on like production where they like built like sets and like tore down sets and stuff. So like I've like walked through different sets of like shows like Ray Donovan and like
oh my god.
And then I remember one time I was walking and then Ken Jeong, I think his name, Dr. Ken.
Yeah.
He was, when Dr. Ken was on TV, he was like recording a scene and we all had to like be quiet. And, like, I don't know, it was really cool. And he's worked in movies since I've been like a kid. So
that's incredible. If they build that house, do not let your dad tear it down. I will chain myself to the door. Like that has to stay standing.
So what's crazy is it's like a big hangar, and then they just build it in the hangar and like have all this like fake plants and stuff all around and like a backdrop that makes it look like it's all outside. I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy.
So bizarre how they could do that.
Make anything.
I know.
And like walking through what was it, the Goldbergs, I think there's like no ceiling because they like recorded, and I was just like, this is so weird. It like feels so real. And there's like stairs going upstairs to like
nowhere.
Nothing.
I know there's some behind the scenes pictures of like the Owens living room, you know, the sound stage with no ceiling, in the kitchen too. It's so surreal. It's very strange.
Right? It's almost like it's like fascinating, but it's also like breaking the magic, and you're like,
a little bit. A little bit. Yeah. I hope they do this well.
I do
really hope they do it well.
And I feel like with Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be like production and like putting in money towards this. So like
right, yeah, they signed on as producers, right? They're both producing alongside Denise Novi. So hopefully it's not gonna be like a Hocus Pocus 2 bullshit situation where, like, you know, they didn't even ask the original cast to come back for that, which was a real bummer. So hopefully now that like Sally and Julian, but like Nicole and Sandra Bullock are involved, hopefully they'll treat it with more tender loving care because they were attached to the first one, and
it's not their first rodeo.
They want to make the fans happy, right?
I feel like they're like connected to the characters.
Yes,
you know,
for sure. Yeah,
because I mean, she was even like the Owen sisters of that.
Right.
Yes,
she's ready for margaritas.
She is ready. Well, she was the one that brought the tequila to the set the first time, right? She was ready.
I thought that was so fun to find that out, that they were actually like drinking and everything.
Cole Kimmin came ready to party on that
My
set.
question is like, what is going to be the new Harry Nilsson Lime in the Coconut song?
Unless they recreate, because that was such a magical moment in the first one. What if they bring it back?
I'm hoping they bring it back, but it's not exactly the same, because that would be kind of weird to be like, yeah, you make 9 margaritas and then it's the same song and it's basically the same scene. Like I think it would be cool with slightly different song, Midnight Margaritas, dance in the kitchen, but it gets taken out into the garden and like,
oh cool, that's cute.
Well, because like in the book they mentioned, wasn't she sipping a margarita by the pool or something? And that was their midnight margaritas in the book, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, they were outside in like lawn chairs at night. This for that.
I love how it was just like a keyword in the first book of just a very quick mention, and then the directors just took that and ran with it for the movie.
Gotta have them sing and dance.
Brilliant.
But I want to ask, is there anything you hope to see besides Vincent in this second movie?
I'm just glad the sisters are coming back.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm looking forward to anything that comes, because it's been so long.
Yeah, 26 years.
I almost would prefer a show over a movie, but
so then you can get more, you can like digest it longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, agree.
I would just binge that shit and then be bummed that it was over so quick.
We are so happy to get to sit with you again. Thanks for taking the half hour with us. We know you're a busy guy, and we're so happy to have you back on the show. And we want to have you back again because there's so much more we want to talk about.
100%.
Oh, yes, please. We can make it like a quarterly thing or whatever. Just
Hell yeah.
feel free to reach out whenever.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. We're looking forward to all the new projects you have in the works and whatever you have coming out next. You know, we'll always support you and we'll always shout your name out here on Magnolia Street Podcast. So thank you so much, Joseph.
Tell them where to find you.
Yeah, tell us where to find you.
Grounded by the Moon on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Etsy, and my web shop.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and we'll put all of Joseph's links in our show notes so you guys can see all those as well. So thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we'll talk to you very soon.
Have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. Bye-bye. So once again, thank you guys so much for joining us for this special Patreon-centered episode. We hope you enjoyed getting to know our wonderful neighbors, Mallory Trunnell of Crimson Calamity and RCA Recording, and Joseph of Grounded by the Moon. Your support as members of our Patreon family truly means the world to us, and it's your contributions that allow us to continue sharing the magic and stories of Magnolia Street with you all.
And the music, right?
And the music!
Just a reminder, if you are a patron in our $5 tier or higher and would like to be on our show, there's still a little time to schedule that one-on-one interview with us. So please get in touch with us before August 1st to schedule that interview.
Yeah, we can't wait to talk to you guys. There's still so many of them that we want to chat with. With that being said, we hope you guys enjoyed this, and we will be back for another patron special in August. So hopefully we've been keeping you guys sustained through the summer. Satiated through the summer, exactly. So we're not gone completely through this hiatus. If you guys do want to get in touch with us before we come back from our hiatus, you can do so through our Instagram over at Magnolia Street Podcast, and shoot us a DM if you want to, chit chat or whatever. So with that being said, everyone stay cool out there this summer, and we will see you guys in the next patron special come August. I'm Justina.
I'm Kristina.
And we'll see you next time.
At the house on Magnolia Street, would you